Alright, what's up, Sagittarius? Here are the March videos. I'm worried if I don't say the year, I'm not going to be fully cataloged, or, you know what I mean. I gotta say everything, the month and the year. So, it doesn't feel official if I don't say 2026. Alright. Present energy challenge. Detail number 1. Number 2. Well, there's nothing serious. This month is nothing serious. Because these worries or any obsessive emotion around this situation. Hate being so goddamn. I'm not vague, but I feel like with this devil card, it's like whatever, because this is about fulfillment, pleasure. It also makes you worried about your ego, how you're perceived and stuff. Though this makes you worry about like if you'll get pretty much a drug, what fulfills you, feeds you. And then this is the worrisome feelings about it. Worrisome, obsessive energy. Situations being boiled down to this situation, to this pleasure, to this. 9 of Cups is like something that will really fulfill or gratify you, make you feel really good on a emotional level, like it make your ego feel good. Seems like this month of March, things are just surrounding that. Things that will only make you feel good on this level. And therefore, if people have a little difficult time making things go in that direction, you may see a lot of emotion, disruption coming from these people in subtle ways or obvious ways, but it's going to be surrounded based off stemming from starting originally happening because of this fulfillment or something to get. So this is what's affecting you. I believe, you're already doing it. You're already aware. You're already engaged with this battle, with this understanding of this obstacle. So it does look like you're not working together, working collaboratively. So this is supposed to be okay. This is supposed to be accepted, dealt with. This is the mentality available. The best thing you can do is just get clear on what it is. Just be emotionally clear and aware. This is what I'm dealing with in this situation. Now, the power of these smooth messages is that it feels like nothing, but it's doing a lot of heavy lifting. That's why it's unfair, you know. You only know if you're consistent with these messages, you know. Acing the month, using the clues. Here's the outcome. People saying all types of shit. People saying all types of shit. You know, talking shit itself is its own, you know, convincer. People talking shit convinces you alone, even if they're coming from out of nowhere. It's why roasting is so, it's powerful. Even though it just seems playful, we take it very serious. Somebody roasts you. You know, they have validity. Best outcome. And that's what it feels like. If you can defend yourself, you're okay. If you can roast back, you're okay. But how you roast back, knowing your character is pretty solid. Like, you defend yourself through knowing you're good, you're okay. So these two cards are you knowing you're okay. This is you being hurt by the roast session, you know, or irritated by people doing extra stuff, you know, because this is what it's supposed to make you feel like. It's supposed to get your attention, like, because it's real mastery. People can create scenarios to convince you you're missing something when they're the ones, you know, who want it. It's a thin line between, you know, being self-amused until the right conditions, or, you know, pretending you don't care. It sucks being highly aware that the conditions aren't there, though. You're like, I don't feel like overexerting myself. That does so much. That little pill to accept. You don't feel like overexerting yourself. It's so powerful. Just as powerful as this card, you know, the realization of that. A heavy load you can release. But what gets in the way is feeling, damn, I am wounded, I am affected, I am weak. They're getting on me. Oh, they're getting on me. They went in on my wound, they tearing up, they roasting my wound, they roasting my bandages, you know. So then you have to sit here. This Knight of Wands be like sitting here. As long as you're clear with yourself, you're just facing what they're trying to convince you you're out of whack about, or you're just clueless about. This is the best they can do without having to, do anything. Hopefully they complain to you enough, you'll fix it for them. They'll roast you enough, you'll shift it for them, you'll act right, But this is the scary thing about things, I gotta use this because I might have mentioned it. But growing up, last little relationship I was in, there's a tendency for us to purposefully ignore each other, to see who would break first, who would catch feelings and break silence first. It's all toxic, but dare to just let it go. And with me, I realized letting go, I got the first part down, but when the person resurfaced, I would not let them go. I would let them come back. So I let it go. Then letting go became a technique, not a final action. It becomes a technique, which is helpful. It's very helpful because I don't want to see it as a chess move. That's how it feels like it works, though. I'll say this before I get off camera. Somehow it feels like when you let go, you'll see angles, scenarios where you can get back at that person. But you really get back by letting it leave your mind. So we would get back by letting their insults, their chances to prove to us, we're missing out on something. Which, not to say you shouldn't advertise food when you want something to eat, but it's like, nourishment will be received, That's the way I want to say it. That's the way I want to say this. The conditions will be made. That's all you can really trust, And that's what it all boils down to. So I didn't say this for the last video, but the whole manifestation mindset might work very well with readings, especially if you know what the month's making you face or feel like you're not getting, or like you're not getting close to. So this action of letting go creates a space, because you might find a way to bridge a gap with people roasting you, or make them feel like they're roasting themselves. Because it's like, I gotta say this, you let stuff fall on, let it fall, like, don't respond, and let the silence speak when they make their statement or say their line, and takes away all its power. You just sound like a person making a random statement that has nothing to do with what's going on. It just sounds out of nowhere. Silence has a lot of power. You just let it stand. Let silence stand. Let the line of silence land itself. Silence is its own line that needs to land. Let it be, That's all. So really, you probably didn't even need the video to even do that. I've been steadily picking that up this month. And I think that's a good practice too, mentioning my journey of learning language. What I like is this subtle thing about, before I get off the camera this time, is not needing to know in your mind, you just know. And with language, English, for example, and then I'm trying out this other language. Maybe the beginning stages of me finding understanding, creating understanding with these words is a beautiful, sweet spot to remain in, versus being so aware and fully aware that I know something which might be its own hell. Awareness, knowing you know something, right? So I'm watching out. I mean, I'm in the beginning stages. Making sure I get my comprehensible input and do whatever, journaling on the days I set the journal, little timers, writing for 3 minutes and stuff. No editing, just raw memory, raw words. But there's a sweet spot. My mind is aware that, like, I know what was said, but I'm not going to translate it to English. I'm just going to know it was said. And that's what connects to people roasting you. Yeah, I know what exactly they're trying to say, but I also know that this isn't the end. I'm doing great. So to not need to know exactly, it's almost like manifestation. It goes back to manifestation. Is the language of manifesting or trusting what you can acquire in your life somehow you knowing but not knowing exactly, but still knowing it's understood? So my little problem is force myself to maintain these routines. It's perfect though, because it's raw effort. It isn't automatically, it ebbs and flows. Some days or some weeks are better than others. We're trying to get consistent. And that sweet spot of keeping it raw, not super duper structured, yet still a lot of effort to maintain. It's the same feeling to keep yourself up, keep yourself confident in yourself, So, I'll say this before I get off the camera. So you and Gemini have long videos. It goes from knowing what was said, but somehow not knowing your mind isn't fully 100% yes, I know this. What is that? Why do we have to fully know it, lock it down, strap it down? It needs to just be, I'm aware, okay, I understood that conversation. I understood that little simple dialogue they had, Didn't have to go deeper into what does it mean. No, I simply understood this. I understood what they were saying. I understood the hate. I understood the roast. I understood the fears they're trying to show me by, they're afraid I don't see this. I have to leave it at a simple understanding, just like when I'm understanding these simple conversations. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, they're afraid that it might not work. I understand that, but that can't go anywhere. That can't go any deeper. It can't go any deeper. So, we've all heard of all these things, and yet something gets in the way of us, not letting it be deeper and throw us off and disrupt us. So, because we make it deep, sensitive. So later, Sagittarius, I believe this video is very important. It's how I say it. So later, there are the messages for March 2026. The game, just being okay, knowing you're okay. You want to be dramatic about it, but dare to be okay and only get better.